just do my job, and then eventually everything else will just come with it.
You're coming back to a team that maybe looks a little bit different than you would have thought. Obviously, Paris is gone. You got a couple of grad transfers, staff changes. Just what are your impressions of the group you're coming back to, and talk a little bit about those guys who've come in.
Well, I'm extremely excited. Just from really, I was last year expected to be the only senior on this team as the season ended, and maybe put also a little bit more pressure from that aspect of it, just to be, the only guy out there that everyone's going to really be looking at. To, we do a great job recruiting, and ended up winding up with two great grad transfers. One with 1,000 points career from Fordham Christian, and then another great point guard leader from Valpo. I mean, winning program everyone knows about. Every year their name is up in some kind of tournament. So I was able to just kind of like relax and be like, I'm still going to set an example for those guys as well, but I've got guys that know and have been through it, and these younger guys can look up to, and maybe I can focus more on leading by example, and by example of how to work hard, when these other guys can kind of take on more of the vocal leadership. And of course I'm going to continue to lead through that as well, but kind of lighten the load for me, and I can just focus on me getting better also, and then also having these guys there that can talk people through it and know what it's like to be a part of a winning program.
Coach, I know playing in the NBA is a lifelong dream for you, so going through this process, what was just the downright coolest moment for you?
I would just say, flying out first class, getting in a hotel when they've got $100 voucher to get whatever you want, room service, and it's like I haven't even made it yet. This is just a workout. So seeing that and the opportunity that's here now just, puts it in perspective to the things that, if I can finally say that I made it, the life that I'm going to be able to live in, and just the benefits it has for me and the future it can have for me. So just throughout this process, I've just tried to enjoy it as much as I can, with also, taking advantage of the time that I still have. So just, these couple workouts, it puts all the hard work to a place where you earned it, but also you've got to continue to work if I want to reach that ultimate goal.
We've seen, obviously you benefited from working with Phil, and we know that his workouts are pretty hard. Did you show up at any of these NBA workouts and be like, I'm ready for this, I've been through this, or anything close to this?
Oh man, see, and that's I could ramble on and on about how good Coach Beckner is with what he does. I don't always enjoy it just because he knows what he's doing. He knows how to kill a guy in a workout to prepare them for something, or to push them to a limit that they didn't even know they could reach. And that was the biggest thing for me, was when he was prepping me for these workouts. I'm here, everyone's out of school, they're back home. I'm seeing videos of guys hanging out at the beach, out in the sun. People are home with their families, and I'm here for a week and a half or whatever, training for these workouts. And it's easy to just want to be like, oh, I want to be there. But then again, those guys are home, and you're about to get on a first-class flight, to Boston, to LA, to Orlando, to all these other places, because they're paying for you, and your hard work is paying off. So he's so good with that stuff. But the weeks I was here training, they were probably the toughest week and a half that I've been through basketball-wise, in training. Ever. But that was his thing, and he would tell me after the workout, I tried to kill you. I tried to make you quit. I think he told one of our managers before the workout, I think he was mad at me because I didn't come back and shoot or something. So he's like, I'm just gonna kill him, make him crawl off the floor. And he told me after the workout that I didn't know that, of course. So I'm just trying to get through. And I ended up completing the workout. He said Dame was on the floor when he tried to do that to him, the same exact workout. And that's cool to put into perspective where I'm at, like I mentioned, and just where I can continue to go, because it's really that mental thing. But his preparation for those workouts and stuff made it so I just walked in there with my chest held high, like, I'm working way harder than any of these guys. They don't know what to expect. And the Jazz just brought him out to kind of put those guys through a pre-draft workout. So I've got a guy that knows exactly what's going to be at some of these workouts, and he's making it harder. He's making me go harder. And there's no NBA guys in the room, so there's not really that real emotion and excitement and adrenaline. So, I mean, he just made it 10 times harder, but it just made it that much easier to compete and to stand out in those workouts.
You've talked a lot about extending your range. Last year you shot some 60-some three-pointers, but your game is, closer to the basket.
Mm-hmm.
And that's, at some point you're going to have to talk to coach, and maybe you already have, about tweaking the scheme a little bit, playing off your strength, working on some of the things that you need to work on to make yourself a better individual player?
Absolutely. Well, that's the main thing, and that's why it's so important to do that, is because, I'm not going to be Steph Curry coming off ball screens, throwing up a 30-footer. Really, it's just going to be when guys are making plays and I'm open, catch and shoot, really, or maybe come off a ball screen, they go under, and I'm going to need to have the ability to just pull up and shoot. And that's one thing that's so unique about my game, is I don't have to really do all that craziness behind the arc in order for me to stand out or be an NBA guy. I just have to be able to, when a shot comes, when my opportunity comes to shoot, be down and ready and hit the corner three, or lift up, shape up, and hit a three that somebody snaps back to me, and make 2 or so a game. So from that standpoint, it's easy. It comes down to a science, just for however many reps and however many times you practice it, that's where you're going to continue to reach that level. And then that even opens it up even more for me, for my lane. When guys got to go over a ball screen every single time because they know that if they go under, that it's 3 points, then I can get downhill, make plays, dunk on somebody or whatever. So from that aspect, it's real easy, and I just know it's a huge advantage to have Phil, because he just knows exactly, he makes it so easy what I have to work on to make me successful. And it's not all the crazy stuff. It's more skill stuff, finishing, but just reps, getting comfortable shooting from deep, comfortable shooting, on the move a little bit, but all that stuff is just going to open up my game.
So was it just Celtics and Clippers you worked out for?
So kind of when I was throughout the process of the, figuring out which teams, and it started with Boston, was literally, I was their first workout. Clippers, I was their first workout. And then I had some downtime after that, coming back from the Clipper workout. There was about a week before, because I think the combine was going on. So there was Orlando, Milwaukee, and who was it? Orlando, Milwaukee, Minnesota, and then Brooklyn and Utah. We were trying to confirm dates for those, but with that week's time and kind of how my body was feeling at the time, it would have been, I think, 3 workouts in 3 days. Like I mentioned, Milwaukee, Minnesota, and Orlando. And I just, at the time, how my body was feeling, I kind of got a feel for the workouts, and I knew at that time that I wanted to return and come back to school. So just sitting it out kind of, and having to wait to really schedule times, and the real short distance between workouts, I felt it was just best for me to kind of let everyone know that I plan on returning back to school. And it wasn't a pride thing to turn those workouts down, because, I knew from a year now, I set myself to a standard for where I expect to work out for every team. So it wasn't like, I just want to do it, just push through, because, they're still evaluating me. And if my body can't be at 100% at the time, then I don't want to show that, or I want to be able to compete when I know I'm going to give my best every time.
It was a long season. You're talking about your health at the time. I mean, how are you feeling? I mean, it was a long season and all these workouts.
It's good now. I mean, the coaches and with Herman and working out with our strength stuff, they're giving us the best advantage we've ever had. Our day really only starts maybe at 10 o'clock. Guys, whether they're not doing individual stuff, we have a team workout or individual workouts today like 2:30. So I mean, there's that rest and that time for us to kind of put in our work individually, but they don't have to make things so mandatory, to where we're just dragging from one thing to the next. We have that comfortability, but it's also because we're working so hard individually and on our own, stuff like that. So, I feel great. I'm so excited right now. It's like, try not to get too excited to think about next season and to take advantage of these days, but I know that it'll be here real soon.
In your statement a couple weeks ago, you said the NBA is a grown man league, so you got exposed to some things, body-wise, maturity-wise, everything outside of basketball skill-wise. Where do you feel like you need to grow to join